We see a campsite in the evening twilight. A tent is pitched by a serene lake with the sounds of summer reverberating throughout the land. Two people are laughing as they get ready for bed. However, we see a figure standing off in the distance, observing the action. Inside the tent, the couple sleeps as weird lumbering footsteps approach them. Suddenly, there's a tearing sound, and they awake to see the outline of a bear as it roars. The couple screams and it cuts to black. The next day, the forest ranger and police are cordoning off the area. It's just so weird. It's like, suddenly there's been a spike in bear attacks. I see that. This is the 3rd this month? Oh, 4th actually, if you count the disappearance of that cyclist up the trail a week earlier. And you think it was a bear attack, too. Well, based on the remains we found, eventually, yeah. Certainly. Well, we'll look into it. But I gotta tell you, once them bears get a hold of someone, they won't let go. I'll speak for yourself. Bears in this part of the state aren't known for tearing people to pieces. As the police leave, the forest ranger gets a ping on his phone. He looks at it. The Bushwackers will solve any case, no matter how bizarre. Oh, there's a review. From the U.S. Army. They took care of a giant Carolina ghost worm a few weeks ago and blew it to smithereens. I totally recommend them. Carolina ghost worm? It goes to the Bushwackers at the campsite, with the forest ranger looking on. So, this has been the 4th attack this month. It's like these bears have been going after people specifically just to tear them apart. And they left the food intact. Exactly. They've always been scavenging for food. People used to toss a package of hot dogs at them, they'd scurry off. But now it's like they're, well, acting like cutthroats? Yeah, that.
Have any of the victims seen the bear attacks?
How do you mean?
Well, how do you know a bear attacked them? There are wolves and mountain lions in this area.
Well, it's not wolves or mountain lions. Based on the height and angle, it's not them. The killer had to be on 2 feet. Well, it's funny you should say that. Hey, Soucek, look at these autopsy photos.
Yeah?
Don't these cuts look a little too clean?
Clean?
Yeah, clean. As in, neat and orderly, not jagged.
It's all bloody.
He means they were made by a knife, not claws.
Thanks, JJ. I never was going to get around to that.
So what are you getting at here? You got some serial killer running around Uwharrie, knifing people in their tents? Oh my god. That's an even worse thought than before.
And if that's the case, then what would be the motive?
They're hippies?
Why would hippies go around a campsite knifing people willy-nilly? Have you ever met a hippie?
Well, the militant earth-loving kind. So, what about the possibility that it's bears doing this?
If it was bears, you'd have a bunch of people telling you they barely survived a bear attack.
He does have a point.
I'm thinking whoever it is wants to go big. They're aiming for something.
Wouldn't they leave a calling card or manifesto or a bunch of creepy messages for the police to decode?
Then they give away the fantasy if it was a slew of bear attacks. Anyway, we're gonna need some staking out there.
It cuts to evening where the guys are preparing their traps.
JJ, We're good?
JJ is finishing setting up the last trap camera to a tree. Yep.
Luca, how are we on those traps?
When he gets no response, he turns around.
Luca?
Luca emerges from the woods holding a shovel. Yep, we're good to go.
What were you doing in there?
Setting up the traps. Duh.
Okay. Alright, guys. Time to turn in.
Luca looks at his watch. It's only 7:30.
We need to make this bear think that we're all tired out and sleeping, and then bang! We'll catch the bastard.
Luca and JJ look at each other.
What?
Well, it wouldn't hurt to have just a little drink, you know? He's right. I mean, we're out in the middle of Uwharrie at a nice campsite. It's summer, we should really knock back a few beers.
That's actually a good point you make. Alright, why not?
Soon we see the three sitting around a campfire. We see several bottles scattered around the campsite while Luca is smoking a cigarillo and Lee is pulling a face.
So, then we went to the Amityville to see if the place was haunted. My uncle told me that he saw a few dead flies, but didn't think much of it.
Seriously? Dead flies are a dead giveaway that something's up.
How do you figure?
The presence of Beelzebub, the Lord of the Flies. It means he's around doing whatever he does.
Yeah, right. He's marking his territory with dead flies and an awful piss spell.
You mock. But there are reports that actually confirmed all that stuff, Lee. You really believe in this crap? The supernatural's a very real thing, bro. I wouldn't mess with it. Is it because you're religious? You don't necessarily have to be religious to believe. So, what happened when your uncle went into the house?
So, he goes in and...
Ugh. Ugh.
He goes in and says it was awfully quiet. But not unnaturally quiet or anything like that. It's like if you're at a home alone and everyone was either at work or school, you'd hear the silence. But it's not the type that will freak you out.
Right. So, nothing out of the ordinary then.
Correct. He went in and he looked around and... Oh, God, Luca.
What?
Will you blow that smoke in the other direction? Every time you take a puff, it blows right into my face and it's noxious.
I can't help it if the wind blows it in your direction.
Then don't smoke that thing. God, what is that made from? Dog shit?
It really looks like it. No, it's a bandito and it's from Honduras. It's hand-rolled. I heard somewhere they use shit to fertilize the tobacco down in Honduras. That's how they get it so big and have that robust smell. He then pulls a face. But I'm with you, bro. I'm thinking of upchuck dinner here.
Ugh, God. That'll explain why I'm about to dry heave. Dude, either put that out now or I'll put it with it myself.
Luca makes a face and tosses a cigarette into the campfire, and the others scurry to their tents, gagging as they do so. It cuts to the three in their individual tents, sleeping. There's a rustling noise emanating from the woods as a bear emerges. JJ's eyes pop open, and he hears the rustling get closer and closer. There's a tearing sound, and JJ turns around and fires a shot. There's a yelp, and the trio rush out to see a woman dressed in a bear costume holding her leg with a knife lying next to her. Oh God! What the hell? That's the bear? Huh. I imagined a bigger, burlier guy.
Alright, you. Start talking. Why were you attacking those campers?
Bears don't talk. I don't have to say anything to you. Well, except for that bit right there. Yes, except for that bit right there. I'm sorry. You're a lady dressing up like some homicidal furry. I mean, in a way, it's pretty sexy, but in another way, you're going to Jack the Ripper in the middle of a state park. What gives? Yeah, especially since 4 people are dead because of these bear attacks.
Hold up. Can we just go back for a second here? You think dressing up like an animal's sexy?
Hey, can we focus here? We're trying to purge the Uwharrie of people to return to its natural beauty. Ha ha! Called it.
Damn it.
And we thought scaring people would do the trick. I mean, if they saw an uptick in bear attacks, maybe they'd think twice about coming here. Now, obviously, it didn't work. Yeah, so when did you guys start going all killer bears and shit? Not me. But other members of our group take a more hardline approach.
Like who?
As she points, they see more people dressed in bear outfits standing there, holding numerous weapons. Ugh. Oh. Wow.
Hey, Luca. Do you think that's sexy?
Shut up, Soucek. It cuts to a clearing where we see the trio tied to trees as a burly man wearing a horned bear helmet walks over. There's drumming and loud chanting as he's flanked by 2 figures dressed as panda bears. He raises his hand, and there is silence. Holy shit, dude. There are so many people here dressed as bears. It's like an army or something. Or a cult. Really? There sure seems to be a lot of them. Usually cults are like tens of people. According to you? Yep. Silence! You are in the presence of the bears. We, who purge the earth of man, have found you guilty of deflowering the beauty of the Uwharrie. The great gods of Nantahala, Uwharrie, Wakama, and Kataba, through their oracles, have pronounced judgment and deemed you fit to die. Oh, great. Another New Age group that's gone to pot. Where's Lee? They turn to see Lee's nowhere. I, Rasus, the high priest of the gods of nature, shall now execute you in the manner of Shimshak Tov, which in our language means most horrific and unnatural death. And they shot me in the leg! I think I'm gonna need a ride to the hospital. Well, just let the great gods of nature heal you. Someone chucks a pine cone in response. Hey, excuse me, sitting bullshit? Hi. If you want to eviscerate us like you did the other campers, that's cool, I suppose. But what did you do to our friend? As he says this, we see figures shuffle in. To Luca and JJ's horror, it's Lee. Lee? No, prisoner. He is now our new brother, Matak. He has seen the error of his ways, and was called by the great bear god into the fold. Super. Another cult brainwashes Soucek. That's like the 3rd now? What about the Church of Godly Scientists? Well, I suppose you can count it. I mean, he did sit through the entire presentation. Even if he was in it for the muffins and the free golf lessons. Matak! How do you pronounce sentence on your former comrades? Lee looks over at his former friends.
I pronounce...
Freedom?
Death!
Crap. Did you really think it was gonna let us go after all this rigmarole? What is up with you using that word, dude? Then, with the fire of Nantahala, purged so the land may again be purified. Let them be purified so their spirits may ascend into the arms of Ursa Major and be cleansed. Be it so, Matak.
Be it so, Ursus.
He hands Lee a torch. He walks over to Luca's tree and sets the base on fire. He then sets JJ's tree on fire. Luca? What? Before we die, can I just say this was a totally stupid idea? Why couldn't we just start a film production company like we discussed? We could have been directing a Marvel movie by now. Ooh, an Avengers movie? No. The tree kills over and lands in the nearby lake. Matak, you have done well.
Thank you.
He looks at the lake.
Say, just a thought. The entire tree didn't burn. In case you hadn't noticed, it killed over onto the lake, and there's a possibility they might have survived.
Ha ha ha! Oh, Matak, you think too much like a man. You must cleanse your mind to be as simple as a bear. Such complexities as forged by men's minds can drive us mad.
Yeah, I get that, but they could return with, like, more men and weapons.
And we'll be ready, won't we? As he says this, the other bears roar in unison. On the other side of the lake, Luca and JJ, having obviously survived the botched execution, plan their next attack. Well, that could have gone better. You think Lee's just pretending to go along to infiltrate and gather intel on those bears? Seriously? It's a possibility. Alright, we gotta deal with those bears and put an end to their man-sacrificing plan before they spread their weird messages to other parks in the state. Well, what'd you have in mind? Well, they have taken the whole bear lifestyle like a fish to water. Well, I was gonna say bear to honey, but sure. Wait. What? I just came up with a brilliant idea. It cuts to the bears marching through the woods. As they march, they smell something and look up to see fish and bottles of honey suspending from the branches. They look around and eagerly begin climbing up the trees. Luca and JJ watch from a distance. Seriously? They just fell for that? Furries are a strange bunch, JJ. You say it like it's from personal experience. They see Lee clamber up a tree and begins to scoot towards the branch with a bottle of honey tied to the end of the branch. As he does so, the branch snaps and he crashes onto the branch below and another bear on it. They fall and crash to the ground where it's revealed to be a deep hole. The other branches snap and the other bears also fall into the ready-made holes below, and there's much moaning and groaning. Luca and JJ rush over to see the piles of bears lying in the bottoms of those pits with a few impaled and others covered in what appears to be excrement. You had time to dig all these pits? Well, remember earlier when Lee maybe set those traps? This is what you were doing? Oh, nice. Oh, you bastards! I think I impaled my leg here. Did you now? Well, isn't that a load of...
Luca, I know you did this, and when I get out here, I swear to God...
The Great Bear God. You swear to the Great Bear God.
Whatever god, deity, demigod, or supreme cosmic being, I'm gonna beat your ass.
Why? I was only setting up the traps like you said. As the others moan, the forest ranger walks over and looks down. Oh, wow. When you don't get results, you really do get results. Yep. These are the perps who've been going around terrorizing campers. Your troubles are now over. The forest ranger waves his hand. Yeah, about that. There's a bit of an odor. Yeah. You might want to hose him down before putting him in the cop cars. I recommend dumping water in the hole and then just let nature take care of it. As the two leave, we see Lee lying in the bottom of the pit in his filthy bear costume.
God damn it.